Okay, Algebra 2 students, this is a video for example 4 for section 2.3. We're going to be applying the finding zeros of a quadratic function that we've been doing the past couple of sections. Here's a story for them to read to us.
A multi-level driving range has 3 levels. Marco hits golf balls from the second level, which is 32 feet high. The height of a ball x seconds after Marco hits it is modeled by the function h of x equals negative 16 times x squared plus 16 times x plus 32. When does the ball hit the ground?
The ball is going to hit the ground when the height is 0, so there will be a 0 here, and it's just solving a quadratic equation like we've done in the past couple of examples and problems. So let's see how they tackle it. They set it equal to 0. They factored out a negative 16 out of everything, so we haven't had that yet, where you can factor out a number if it goes into each one. And then they just have the x squared minus x minus 2. And that factored nicely because it's got the leading coefficient as 1. So just factors of negative 2 that add up to negative 1, and that would be negative 2 times positive 1. So they broke it into negative 2 times positive 1. Again, we're trying to find out when this all equals 0. This will equal 0 if this equals 0. So x could be negative 1. Or when this equals 0, which would be x equals 2. Those are the two places that are for the quadratic. But now we have to relate it to the story. Since time has to be positive, we can ignore the x equals negative 1 because it's also going to hit the ground at negative 1 seconds, meaning before he even hit it, it was at 0 because the parabola does that. So we can ignore that one. And 2 is the only solution that makes sense. So that means after he hits it, 2 seconds later, the ball will hit the ground. Now we'll try one for ourselves. If that made sense to you, you can give this one a shot. It's a very similar problem. This time it's a baseball thrown from the upper deck of a stadium. Here's the equation. They want to know how long will it take for the ball to reach the ground. Click pause, give it a shot, come back when you're ready. I'm going to do what they did and factor out a negative 16. So I take a negative 16 out of that. And I'll have just x squared. If I take a negative 16 out of that, I'll have a negative 2x. And I don't know, 128 divided by 16. Hopefully it comes out to something nice. 128 divided by 16. Yeah, 8. So if I factor out a negative 16, this is going to become minus 8. And I want to find out when does this equation equal 0. So if I can factor this part, that'll help out. The leading coefficient is 1, so I know it's going to factor into a x and an x. Factors of negative 8, that when you add them you get negative 2. I'm instantly thinking of 2 times 8. I mean 2 times 4. 2 times 4, as long as one of them is negative, I'm going to get negative 8. I want the larger one to be negative. Yeah, positive 2 and negative 4. Double check that. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Yep, and from this, using the zero product property, I know x could be negative 2 and x could be 4. Now going back to the story, how long will it take for the ball to reach the ground? It would either be negative 2 seconds, which is not realistic, or 4 seconds, so the answer is 4. And that's how you tackle these kind of problems. Again, very much related to what we were doing previously, just applying it. Your teacher can assign some of the following problems: 30, 44, and 41. That's it for this video. Have a great day.